That's what I'm
No,
saying.
it's kind of depressing. But, it's cool.
Honestly, I think a couple more years and things would have been really solid. But, I mean,
Things didn't exactly pan out that way.
no, we didn't get a chance to work through that part.
Yeah.
So.
What about Brian?
This is not a fair time to ask about him.
You gotta talk a little bit about Brian. Unless you're gonna start having, like, Vietnam flashbacks.
He didn't want to be married to me.
Did you want to be married to him?
I don't think it would have been smart.
I don't think it would have been either.
But I probably would have done it.
Of course you would have.
It wouldn't have been smart.
No, it wouldn't have.
But that wasn't what he wanted. So. That's all I can say about that.
Okay. We have more topics.
Do we?
We have 4 more.
Okay. And how much time do we have?
I mean, we're getting to 35 minutes.
Okay, well, give me another topic.
I would like to cover all of them. So we're just
Okay.
going to keep going till we get this.
All right.
Family.
Family is not about blood necessarily. Although I think it's really interesting how we stick with our biological families no matter what they do to us,
Yeah.
And even the ones in the family that you don't necessarily like, you don't lose touch with them, and you pretty much count on them more than just acquaintances. But of course there are friends that are like family you chose.
Right. Like your best friend in the whole world. Sometimes it just, like, you can have a best friend that's, like, not really family.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you're just, like, your best friends, you hang out a lot, and you guys are,
But you could tell that person anything.
Yeah. When that person's, like, when a person's, like, your family,
mm-hmm.
It's like, this person knows your deep, dark secrets.
If you have any.
You feel like maybe you could trust him with your life. And I feel like it's weird that whenever it's actual family, blood relation, you just automatically trust that person. Like, when I was a little kid, I automatically trusted Sissy and Jared.
Oh, but that's because you're a younger sibling. I
automatically trusted you.
Yeah.
That was a tough choice. Bad choice. I'm just kidding. No, but like...
Well, you depended on me for everything. You gotta have somebody, you can't take care of yourself as a baby. And so, believe it or not, I mean, I've seen this. That makes me very sad. That there are kids who can't trust their parents because, honestly, they're not trustworthy. The parents didn't take care of them when they couldn't do anything for themselves, right?
Right.
And they're really fortunate to have survived. And that's a sad thing to see. And this is a whole thing with me. Okay. Why kids should do what their parents tell them to do. If they have earned that trust, if they've shown, I will always take care of you, I'll always be there for you, then there should never be a question if mom or dad says to you, or grandparent, whoever is raising the kid, and has proven they're trustworthy to take care of that kid. They say, I need you to do this right now, right? You go do it. And then you come back and say, that didn't make sense to me. Why'd you want me to do that? You know? And you can always question it. But if they're saying, do this, and they're trustworthy, you should do it. That's the way that should be.
Yeah, but like, what if they're trustworthy and they want you to do something that doesn't feel right? And I'm not talking about
then they're
like
not trustworthy. So if it's morally wrong, then they're probably not trustworthy to begin with.
or well, I don't mean necessarily like morally wrong. Like things just like when you do the math in your head of what they want you to do, it just doesn't work at all.
I think you're probably gonna have to explain that one.
Like, I'm bad with words. When I don't have a good example, forget it. I can't think of something.
I think sometimes there's a miscommunication because it feels like you're being put in a double mind where you're being told like, I need you to do this, and they seem like mutually exclusive things. But there's a miscommunication, and what the person meant was, I need you to do this, and then I remembered, oh, I need you to do that too. They forgot to tell you which one they want you to do now and which one can be done later or something like that.
Okay. What about in a situation with two parents?
Oh, man.
And both of them are trustworthy, right?
Sure.
You trust them wholly, fully,
Mom says do this,
and Dad says do the other thing. Yeah. They both say to do opposite things, and you can't really place more importance on one or the other, or else
I'll tell you what most kids do.
a parent gets angry.
You
Don't
listen
do
to-
anything.
No, that's what you would do.
It's not, no.
What most kids do is whichever thing they wanted to do in the first place. And then they're going to say, well, Dad said I could, or Mom said I could. Whichever thing they wanted to do in the first place. Seriously. That's what they're going to do. What they should be doing is saying, I think you need to go talk to Dad because that's not what he said, okay? But they're never going to do that. If they get the answer they want, they're just going to go like, okay then. So I'm going to the dance and staying out till 3. Got it. Okay.
Jeez, staying out till 3, that's late.
Mm-hmm.
What about family that you dislike with an unholy passion that burns with the rage of 7 dying stars?
If this is seriously a topic that you have,
No, this is just a question that has to relate to family because of my family. Like Aunt Cindy. And my
Well-
friends know about her.
That's not a person. That is your parent,
I don't trust her at all.
or who has earned your trust. So you've always got to come back to the person who's earned your trust with, that's me. Hello, that's me. So you come back to me to find out what I think about that. And then, of course, you are at the age now, and you are about to be making your own choices all the time. So what I say should have an impact, but not very far down the road here. It's not the final word anymore. It's okay.
It's been the final word?
It has. I know that escaped you
This is
in the
news.
past, but in my mind, it's the final word. In your mind, probably not so much.
Okay. That has to do with a later topic. Here we go. Society.
What about it?
That's the topic. Society.
It's the name of a new little shop, a little tea room. Society.
No.
Nope. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. We live in a society.
Ours is messed up. Okay.
Okay, here's a question to do with society.
Mm-hmm.
How would you say that it differs from when you were a kid to now?
Wow. Okay.
How would you say it's changed? Has it changed for the better or worse?
Well, of course I'm going to say it's changed for the worst.
Are you sure about that?
Mostly.
How has it changed?
Okay, so I'm so old that I was a teenager when
You're not old.
we found out what Nixon did, right?
Right.
And I was devastated.
Why?
I thought that I believed in America, and I believed in my government.
Oh, so this is like a big wake-up call.
That was huge. And now, I don't trust the government at all.
As far as they can throw you.
Yeah, they're definitely throwing me. I'm not throwing them. So, yeah. So things have changed a lot. I don't think there are many people who think that the government is trustworthy and that America is all the time a wonderful place. I hope there are still people who realize that we have it a lot better than a lot of other people. Though, I hope there's still people that realize that.
There are.
I think we find the dumbest things to get all worked up about, you know?
We could talk for days about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sad that families are as screwed up as they are, that people don't get married as much, and that people who do get married don't stay married, and that it's just normal now for there to be these families with step and half and, you know, siblings and well, I live with all these people, but these two are only there every other weekend, and these, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's really complicated.
I mean, I've only got half siblings.
This is true. And you used to have some step ones.
Yep. I would like to think I still do. But I don't know about that. So,
It's just so complicated.
what would you say is the biggest change from when you were a kid to now? Societally.
When I was a kid, people didn't laugh at religion. Now they act like you're stupid.
Do they laugh at it or do they get angry at it? Because I feel like...
Well, they act like you're stupid if you believe in God.
I think when you were a kid, I wasn't there, you know, but I do know history, right? And I think that a lot more people than you think did. It just wasn't as many people as now. And I think it's as many people as it is now because a lot of people have stuff that goes really wrong in their lives.
Yes.
And they just don't think there's any way that there could be a God out there and let those things happen. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like dead siblings, dead parents, people they've lost in their lives, or
Abuse.
abuse.
Like I work with that all the time. With people who they won't even consider the idea that there's a God because of the abuse that happened. Like, who would allow that?
I mean, of course, I personally think there is, because I don't see how there couldn't be.
I just think it's terrifying to think if we're the top of the food chain, if we're the most intelligent thing, then there's no hope. There's no hope. Because we screw up every day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything screws up every day. It's not even just like living things. Mechanical things mess up all the time. Animals mess up. Those are living things, of course, but they mess up all the time. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of that sentence.
Okay.
It got away from me. Are we done with that topic?
I guess so.
Do you have more? Have anything else to say?
I don't think so.
Okay. Here we go. Forgiveness. So this is what I was talking about in family whenever I stopped myself from asking a question, because I said this will tie in to another topic. If a family member does something so terrible, not necessarily to you, but to someone else that you love, or not even love, just don't even know, or something, like your brother's a murderer or something.
What if I was like Jeffrey Dahmer's mother? Is that what you're asking?
Right. Would you still love him as your son? Would you be able to forgive him for the things that he did, the terrible things that he did?
I think so, in some weird way. Okay? I know this because I can't understand people who like disown or cut themselves off from family members. You know what I mean? I understand when they decide that a relationship is so toxic they can't spend time with that person, but if that person needs them, they should be there as best they can.
I mean,
so, and here we'll come full circle. Is this the last topic?
No, there's
No,
one more.
but we'll come full circle anyway. So we started off talking about death, and I told you about how Mother's Day is really difficult for me. In 2003, when my dad died, Jordana was a drug addict at the time, and she went with me to see Grandma for Mother's Day. And I did not know why she was consenting to go, because normally she didn't care about what we were doing as a family because she was a drug addict at the time. And it turned out that she was going because she knew that my dad, being so close to death, was on OxyContin, and that was her drug of choice. And she stole his pain medication.
Have you forgiven her for that?
I don't think about it every day.
Because, I mean, I know that you still love her, you care about her.
Right?
But is that something that can be forgiven?
I think so. I mean, there's a difference. Forgive and forget, they say that's stupid. Okay? So, you don't want to forget, but you don't want to dwell on things. Like, I think you're aware that sometimes I question whether or not I can trust her because of things that she's done before.
Right.
But I love her, and I will do anything I can that is the right thing to do. Anything that I should do to help her, I will do. And I do love her.
Right. So, like, what are your thoughts on the thing that I won't forgive Aunt Cindy for, ever? I know people are supposed to forgive other people, but I think there are certain things that are just absolutely unforgivable.
But the forgiveness is for you and not for them. Because, okay, you know what happens when you've got a dog on a line that you screw into the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the dog sees a cat or rabbit or whatever, and they go run and they go, ah! Right? Okay, and so it's like that. You're tethered to this point in time, and you can't move forward. You can go in a different direction, but you're not ever going to get past a certain point because you're tethered to this. You gotta let it go. And it's not for that person because they don't deserve it. That's not what you're doing it for. You're just saying, you know what? I'm gonna let this go.
Maybe as I get older, I'll be able to let it go. But right now, at this point, I'm not able to. What about... This is really dark.
Okay.
What about a child who was, like, molested or something by a parent or, like, an uncle or an aunt?
Again, that's where the difference between forgive and forget. I would never, ever trust that person again. Okay?
Right.
And I don't need to put myself in a position where somebody else I know could get hurt. And I mean, I wouldn't be looking for revenge, but I would do whatever I was asked to do for justice. Like they needed someone to testify about it. Yes, I would do that. That person can go to jail or whatever. Yes.
Would you think at that point that would be, like whoever did that to that child would be an acceptable person for them to disown? Would you think that would be an acceptable point to disown somebody? Because
I still don't think that. I still don't.
Alright, well, I guess you're...
But they don't need to be around them.
I guess you're a forgiving person or something.
That toxic thing. You don't need to be around people that are toxic to you, but you know, they're still people and they have feelings. And you know, of course, it's been my experience that people who molest children and things like that had things done to them as well. And probably at a time when it wasn't acceptable for them to get therapy or, you know, to get help with that. So that's the way I always look at it. I don't know their story. And if I did, I probably would understand a lot more. It's not okay for them to do what they did. Okay?
So on that on that note of, like, if they did that, it's usually found that something like that was done to them. So would you say in all your cases that you've done that had to deal with, like, abuse and stuff like that, would you say it truly is a cycle? Like, I know people say that, but sometimes it's not.
There is, of course, sort of like a patient zero, right?
Yeah.
There's an origin point of some kind. And that's what I'm always looking for, because when somebody becomes violent or abusive out of nowhere, that's truly troublesome. I want to know what's wrong with that person, how that could happen.
Well, kind of what I meant was more of, like, there's been a line of abusers in that family, and then there is one person in that line who deals with it differently than the other people in their family have, and they make sure it stops.
Yes.
So would you say it's necessarily never ending, or no?
It's definitely got to have an end point. That's where we need people to get help so that we don't keep perpetuating that cycle.
Okay. I think that's a good ending point for that.
You think so? Okay.
Alright, here we go. This is the final topic. And it's a really big one. And you can't answer 42. Do you think that you have found some sort of meaning to life? Like, I don't think you can have. I don't think anybody can until they've died. Because there's an array of experiences that you have to have throughout your life, right?
Right, sure.
And that's like the final one, the end experience. And then if there is an afterlife, I only put the if out there because some people don't believe it. Then you would have the meaning of life, right? But I guess there are some people out there who could find out the meaning of life. Or at least they claim to.
You are asking for some cosmic existential answer because you have to find meaning to your life to keep going.
Oh, well, yeah, that's different to what I'm talking about. Like, if you're talking about, like, a meaning to your life where you find out your purpose.
Yeah.
And you find out why you're put on this rock, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts? Have you found one?
I have a purpose. Not always firmly in my view every single moment of every day, but I have a purpose. But the big question, what's the meaning of life kind of thing, I don't think that I will know the answer to that until after I'm gone from this place.
Okay. So, is that it? Is that all your comments on that? Don't have anything. I mean, I guess there's really nothing else to say about that. It's kind of a short topic.
You need to find people that make your life meaningful and something that you're passionate about doing that you're also talented at. I'll do this weird thing. So like the intersection of your passion and your talent is your calling. And if you are fulfilling your calling, then you have purpose.
Okay. Now, I know I said that was the final topic.
Oh, no. Okay.
There are no more topics, but I want to add one more.
Oh?
Because I think it just popped into my head, and I think it's very important.
Okay.
Faith.
Okay.
Now, I've got, several variations on the question. Do you think it's important to have for a person to survive? Because faith is kind of hope, right? And so, just like, do you think it's necessary for a person to have faith if they're going to make it through life? What are your thoughts on faith?
I think if you don't have faith, like I said, if we think that humans are it, then we're all in trouble. So, and if you don't have some kind of faith that there is a reason that things happen the way they do, it's very difficult to get through life. And faith that when you can't figure out how anything is going to be okay, that it will be okay. It's very difficult to go on. So, I think faith is very important, yes.
Okay.
And again, showing how very, very old I am. So there's this prayer actually called Desiderata. Okay, but they made it into a song in the 60s, which it sounds really corny. The music is very like gospel sounding. Okay, but Anyway, the chorus of it says, "You are a child of the universe. No less than the trees and the stars, you have the right to be here. And whether or not it's clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should." And this has been something that's been very comforting to me all of my life since I was a teenager and I first heard the song. So I like to say that. No doubt the universe is unfolding as it should.
Okay. Here is another question.
Okay.
So, faith, you need faith for religion, right?
Yes.
So, you've been a Christian since you were a kid, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how did you arrive at this religion being what you put your faith in and making you believe that there's an afterlife and a heaven and a hell and that there is an ultimate justice?
Okay. Well, being brought up by fundamentalist Christians, Southern Baptists,
Ooh.
yeah, really steeped in Christian tradition, but I know that Aunt Cindy believes that I just believed whatever they told me, and that's it. I was just brainwashed, right? But she didn't realize that I started investigating other religions when I was like 14, I think. I started thinking about how it wouldn't be fair if I was brought up in a Buddhist household, right? And to hold that against me wouldn't be fair. Do you understand that? If I didn't know things that we consider to be necessary because I'd never been exposed to them, right? Or because I've been told all my life, you must believe this way. So, I mean, I looked into a lot of different things, and this is where I get the saying that I have, truth is where you find it. There is, I don't care if something comes from some other religion and it's helpful. Use it. That's good. Okay? That's, because there are a lot of